school, that they can feel encouraged, that they can feel confident in their faith, and so confident that they can share that faith, that hope that they have with their friends. And so I get to introduce two wonderful people. It's a father and a daughter, and this is an interesting twist. The father is actually a youth pastor at Shelter Rock Church. His name is Pastor Kevin Mahaffey. And his daughter is Natalia Mahaffey. And last year, Natalia got to start her student-led Christian club or Bible club at her middle school. Middle school. You heard that right. So they're going to share a little bit about their story and Pastor Kevin Mahaffey's cool, unique thing that not only is he a youth pastor getting to work alongside you for Christ and the local church partnering with you for Christ, but also as a parent of a daughter in a public school. So let's give it up for Pastor Kevin and Natalia.
Great. This is a wonderful evening. I won't talk too long because I'm sure you'd rather hear from the prettier person on stage here. But I've been a youth pastor on Long Island since 2005, and I just want to say quickly that for years I had the approach of, I'll just work with the kids in the church, and Youth for Christ will work with the kids in the clubs, and I'll only go to the club if I'm invited because I don't want any legal trouble in that whole nine. But a few years ago, I was really able to see the power of clubs. I moved to California for about a year and a half, and while I was there, one of my responsibilities was go be on campus every single day with kids. And I saw how powerful that was, and when we moved back to Long Island, I made a decision. I said, I'm going to go to several clubs every week. So I make it my goal to go to 3 or 4 clubs every week after school. And it's been phenomenal to see and be able to meet kids who've never set foot in our church and be able to support our Christian kids in their school clubs. And so one of the reasons that we're here is because in Roslyn High School, I decided I would go into that club every week. And I would pick Natalia up from her middle school and take her with me to the high school club. And so we did that for about a year, and then one day on the way home, Natalia turned to me, and what did you ask me?
I asked you if I could start in middle school in my school.
Yeah, you wanted to start a club in her middle school. And I said, sure, why not? So Natalia, tell us kind of, what are some things that you did? I know we kind of reached out to Emma, so tell us about what you reached out to Emma and what you guys talked about.
Well, we talked about how to get in the process of starting a club. So first I came up with a proposal to give to the administration at my school, and then we just talked from then on. And
I know they called you, your principal said, I would like you to come in and talk with the vice principal or the assistant principal. What was that meeting like?
It was intimidating, kind of, and I was really nervous because I get nervous when I talk in front of people.
Now, did you go to that meeting all by yourself?
No, Emma Rucci from YFC came, and my dad came.
Your youth pastor. Your youth pastor. And also, another thing that you had done is before we put together the proposal, I know you did a lot of research and you found out that there was a teacher's aide at the school, Mrs. Marks. In fact, if you look right over there, there's a bunch of blue shirts from the club. I think they're over somewhere. Yes, and some kids up front here too. So you went to Mrs. Marks and you said, would you be willing to help? So when you went to the administration, you kind of had some things in line, right? So then they voted and said you can have your club. And so tell us some of the things you had to do to get it going. Like, I know you had to talk to some kids or something. What was that like?
Well, I basically went in my lunch period. I went around the cafeteria and asked people if they would be interested in this club. And I got about 30 people that might have been interested.
One of the things you may not know, she thought there was nobody who would want to come to this club. And so she was kind of blown away by that. So then you start your club. At your first club, how many kids showed up?
We had 11 kids at our first meeting.
Awesome. And what did you think about that?
I was really surprised because I wasn't expecting that many people to come to the first meeting.
So you guys were pumped. And then the second meeting, how many kids were there?
We had 23 at the second meeting.
And then the third meeting, how many kids were at the third meeting?
We had 30 kids at the third meeting.
And this thing has been awesome, yes. And they've done it right. They've had a team of kids that have worked together, and they're running 25 to 30 kids even still at the end of the school year. And now you're working on handing it over to some 6th and 7th graders, right? So what would you say to some young people who are thinking, I don't know if I could do that?
I would say just to be courageous and like stand up for what you believe.
Awesome. And yeah, give it up for them. The last thing I want to say is if you're a youth pastor, don't just leave it to the YFC people to go out on the campuses with kids. Go out, they're looking for us to be those people, and that frees them up to go and help more kids start more clubs on more campuses. So thank you guys.
Thank you so much, Pastor Kevin and Natalia. Can you imagine 12-year-olds, 13-year-olds that are sharing their